Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Dennis Fuller leading us in. Don King with a theme song. Greg Ratliff pushing all the buttons to make things go as we into our second week of January 2018. I just had a physical the other day, and I get my yearly physical, and he said, Mr. Ray, do you want January 14th of 2019? I said, about 20 years ago, I never would have thought I'd made it to 2019, when Y2K was coming along and the world was going to end. That happened. But speaking of the world's going to end, this guy is just going to keep on going. Listen to him. He's got his own theme song. I wish y'all could see him. It's just, we ought to FaceTime him, I mean, we ought to
He has a face for radio.
Now, listen
for
to
sure.
that. Did you hear that?
For sure.
I heard that.
Well, he's in the duck blind right now on this day, and it's our good friend Steve McCadams. As smoke on the water pours into here. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. Good to be with you again. How you guys today?
Happy New Year, Steve. I know it's part of your job. You got to do it, but here's what I'm going to say about the weather. This is it. That's all I want to say, okay? I'm coming back from deer hunting Thursday with my wife, I might say. How many times has Linda been in the duck blind with you, Steve?
One time. One was enough. That's all she could take.
Oh, I love it. Anyway, we're coming back through Somerville, and then we're cruising through Somerville there and looked up, and what do you think I saw on the town square at Somerville?
A
Food.
big deer.
No, a truck, a snowplow in Somerville. I don't need Dave.
my goodness.
I don't need Ron Childers or Tim Simpson. I'm going to the snowplow guy in Somerville, Tennessee on Thursday. He knows. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. But okay, tell us all about it. I know we're breaking. You really, in your situation, tell our listeners, because we talk a lot about field hunting. John, you can listen. You know this and everything. We talked about hunting in the pits, hunting in the holes. Tell our listeners, when they book a waterfowl, a duck hunt or a goose hunt with you, what are they hunting out of?
We're doing two different things, Larry. I hunt the Tennessee River here on Kentucky Lake mostly. East of Big Sandy, we're hunting out a float line with real big decoy spreads.
Okay.
And shallow water, backwater off the islands, off the main river, so to speak. But I also hunt in Old Vine River bottom and flooded cornfield, a soybean field that I have here on the farm. So we hunt both scenarios, depending on what the water and the weather and the situation is at hand, and we're hunting flooded bottoms here since the thaw. The ice age got us, of course.
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Earlier.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
We almost never recovered from that, but we have, and now along comes another cold spell. We like cold weather, but not single-digit stuff, and that's been tough on hunters earlier in the month. And
It's really
we
tough.
finally broke out, and then we got 4 or 5 days of hunting, and now we're going to be facing ice again.
Yeah, and Steve, I know that I've learned really a term more this season has been, look, okay, we got early part of the season, we don't have any water till Christmas, then we get 6 inches of water right after Christmas, and now, we got water everywhere, and then we get ice. So I've heard the term ice eaters more than I have in a long time, and John Gordon is shaking his head over there. So I mean that's something that's really been. But I've hunted with you up there. The difference between hunting open water than a lot of these guys that I hunt with, whether it's flooded timber or in the timber or flooded fields or whatever it might be. Talk about hunting open water.
Well, usually you don't have as much ice problems in open water because, you're hunting out where you're getting more wind. That keeps your ice away a little bit. Oftentimes it's a little deeper water, too. So those two things together, you don't have to fight ice as much as a guy in a flooded bean field or a rice field or a shallow cornfield like I'm hunting right now. And when you get water that's only 12 to 18 inches deep, 2 feet, it will freeze real quick. And
Yeah.
it freezes thick. Like last week, we had 3.5 inches of ice. And
Yeah.
even when you get a couple of warm-ups, it takes more than 2 or 3 days to thaw and break it and get it like you need it and open the holes up. So it's a tough process when it's cold as it's been, and it's like a lot of hunters out there, lost 7 or 8 days of hunting, if not more. And
Yeah, that's
who knows what the rest of the season's going to be like.
and that's lost revenue for you. I mean, that's
Well, yeah, it is. It's hard. It's really tough when you got a tough season to begin with. Sometimes challenging, and sometimes you can benefit from it. You can break the ice out and create a little hole, and sometimes you can get a little wind and have a good hunt. But oftentimes you tear up a lot of equipment, 4-wheelers or boat motors or boats and people. You tear up yourself, and it's just pretty hard all the way around.
And this is your what number year did we say?
42.
42 years.
Sometimes I forget, but
Yeah.
and each one of them's getting a little harder. That ice is getting a little thicker, and that cold's a little colder, and the wind's a little stronger, and the rain's a little wetter here lately.
Well, I got to ask you now, John Gordon. How old are you, John?
I am 48 and holding. Larry, I'll be 49 here shortly.
All right. So now do you hear that Steve McCadams has been doing this for 42 years?
Well, yeah.
That's amazing.
Steve, it is
that
amazing.
not amazing? Because you've been doing it for
40.
Yeah, since
Pretty
you were a
much.
kid.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
To be a guide for that long is it's amazing, Steve. And you know, I've guided quite a bit myself, and I know what it's like. And I mean, for you to hang in there for this long is quite amazing.
Well, I know that.
Well, I've been lucky. I've met a lot of good people, and it's been good to me. It gets tougher every year, but I can't complain. It's okay. I've been very fortunate to fish and hunt for a living, and I'm like a coach. Everybody likes you when you're winning, as you well know, John, if you've done it. But some days the ducks don't fly, and some days the fish don't bite, and some days Mother Nature deals the cards, and the weather beats you up, and you can't change the weather.
No.
The only control you got to be in there, but it's been pretty hard on me this year.
Yeah, and I got to ask you, so both of you guys, and I'll ask Ron even from the fishing angle, what's the worst weather condition you've ever hunted in, Steve?
Oh, single-digit weather with a 20-mile-an-hour wind, when you get that cold and that bad.
Yeah.
Nothing works right. Your body doesn't work right. Your gun doesn't work right. Your outboard motor doesn't work right. Your four-wheeler doesn't work right. Just nothing acts right in that when the weather is that severe.
And you mean
you can capitalize on it sometimes, but you're really pushing it to the limit when it's that bad. And I've had to do it a few times.
How about you, John?
Well, there was a situation one time. I was guiding some guys from Indiana down in Texas, and the storms that will hit there sometimes on that wide open prairie are pretty severe, and we knew it was coming. It was about 55 to 60 degrees that morning.
Yeah,
and the norther was coming, and it was going to hit early, and two of the guys were scared to go really, and they stayed in the truck. And I had one guy, man. This guy's last name was Bogenschutz. I'll never forget it because I can't forget it. Yeah, Bogenschutz.
He probably McCadams recommended him. Probably
it could have been. But I was young back in those days. Gosh, I was like 26, I think. But
so you took old Bogenschutz.
I took me and Bogenschutz out there.
I don't even want to say the word fast.
And what crazy was the sun was coming up, and we were. I mean, the wind shifted, and it went from 60 degrees to in the 30s within a matter of seconds, really.
It felt like it.
The wind flipped, and the geese were roosting over to the west of us, and a tornado hit them.
A tornado hit the geese.
Hit the geese at the same time, and it lifted them up, and there were geese flying everywhere. It just screaming and
what a movie.
Going nuts, and I mean it was crazy. And I mean I really wish I had a video of it. Of course, those days we never had we had video, but nobody had a phone like I would have had now, and I really could have got it, and it was amazing. It was one of the craziest sights I've ever seen.
And you're still guiding?
And I'm still guiding.
McCadams has never learned his lesson. See, I mean, he's...
you're right. I'm a slow learner.
You're a slow learner. I know that for a fact. Hey, Steve, thank you, buddy, and be careful out there, okay?
Stay warm and safe.
Be with you guys.
All right,
we're going to have a good duck season for us, so we're going to need a couple of weeks, so we'll make it.
Okay, we want you to let us know when it is, okay?
I'll do it. My wife will be glad when it ends, I can tell you that.
No, you'll be home then. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, I may go back to duck. I may extend the duck.
You may extend it. We'll see you, buddy. All right. Play his music. Get his music. Is it done gone out here? I love to hear that song. Let him fade on out of there with smoke. Oh, listen to that. Okay, now who did that song?
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. And you would think that I wouldn't even know that, won't you? That was Carl Graham's song at one time, but I took it away from Carl. You
took it away. You gave it to Chris Brown for a while.
I did give it to Mr. Lightman. Chris Brown. Okay.
And then now Steve has got it. I thought I was going to get it, but
No, you've got something else coming down the road in 2018 that I haven't even told you about yet.
On the road again.
No, not that one. Well, that would be good, though.
How about the MSU fight song for Ron? I think that'd be awesome.
Memphis State University?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd
Go
be it.
Tigers, go.
All right, how we doing, Greg? We all right? All right,
By the way, if we got a minute here.
we got 2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes.
Ooh, I shouldn't have told him that.
Just prayers to the Kaler family.
Yes. Yeah.
Nick
Wow, that
was finally found after 6 days in the water.
They
there
did find
at Lake
him.
Okeechobee.
Yeah.
They did find him. And then I just read this morning or 2 days, day before yesterday,
Yeah.
there's another gentleman that is now lost on Center Hill Lake. They have found his boat and his life preserver.
Man.
That's not good when that happens. Obviously, there at Lake Okeechobee, that's a different situation in that tournament. He did have his life jacket on. It was a full PFD add-on, but hypothermia.
Hypothermia.
You're talking about water that was 50 degrees. And so, again, I have talked a lot about
Keep talking.
practicing
Talk
good
on, brother.
water safety. Wear those life preservers. At my age now, when I go out,
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing my inflatable even when I'm not using the big motor, but fishing. And then when I'm using the big motor, I'm going to use a full vest.
Well, that really makes me feel, because I've heard you were using 2. So I just want to make sure that you weren't out there with 2 life jackets on.
Well, got to have them.
The thing that really about that at Okeechobee is the pro with him. I mean, he's got to feel
he's devastated from everything
by
that
look
I
around
have
and he's
talked
gone,
to,
and
people I've talked to. Yes, and at some point in time, it's one of those things that happens. That's why accidents happen.
Let's talk about that when you come back in a couple of weeks, Ron, about winter boating safety. Let's be sure and mention that. And
Absolutely.
We might try to get somebody on, because that's a segment, because I can still remember it, guys. I know we got to break off here, but those young men from White Station High that tried to get across the Mississippi River that year, going duck hunting.
Yep.
And
yeah.
And one of them was a baseball star, and I can't, but didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call that the mighty Mississippi enough, but still remember that. Let's take a break, come right back, and we're going to talk what Ron loves to talk. We're going to talk fishing lures. We might talk some crappie. You ain't going to talk crappie?
Well, crappie and bass, both. And
Let's talk
of course, John loves to fish, too.
I do.
Outside of duck hunting.
No, I saw him at the trout pond one year at the boat show.
All right.
Weren't you there, John?
I don't remember that, Larry, but
All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790.
You can find out all about it on Outdoors